Bring in Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project, Veronica Cardenas, who just wrote a piece for The Guardian. I was a lawyer for ICE. Mass deportations don't make us safer. Veronica, start with you. If mass deportation of illegal immigrants who have committed violent crimes, which is what the administration says they're doing, doesn't make us safer, what does?
I think that we need to take a step back and look at the full picture here. So Trump wants to take us immediately to these are dangerous people, they're criminals, right? But before we even get into that argument, what is due process? And I think that is exactly where all of the decisions that this administration has made is bringing us back to question that. What is due process and where are these checks and balances on the president? And so a targeted approach to immigration is a better way to go. Department of Homeland Security has those capabilities. They have an investigative branch. They can prosecute criminals in federal district courts. And when they can't do that, they can rely on immigration, where the burden is much lower than a criminal case, where detention abilities are so expansive. So I think using a cannon to kill a mouse in this case is not the best approach.
Are you comparing the illegal immigration and the criminal gangs that have come into America as a mouse?
I'm comparing the non-citizens that are swallowed into those decisions, the American citizens that are swallowed into those decisions.
Oh, come on. There's been a couple American citizens who were detained for 5 minutes and they were let go. I mean, okay, this is ICE, 32,000 ICE arrests in Trump's first days, 14,000 convicted criminals, 9,900 have pending criminal charges, more than 1,100 deemed gang members. Mike, get you in on this real quick. Does this administration, as well-intentioned as they may be, and as much as they are on the side of public relations, because you watch that video and you say, absolutely, I want these guys gone, run the risk that when the shoe's on the other foot, when Democrats are in charge in 4 years or in 8 years, they will, then it empowers a Democratic administration to effectively do the same thing and ignore whatever judge's orders they want to ignore?
I welcome Democrats enforcing our immigration laws. The reason we have this problem today is Joe Biden ignored our immigration laws and illegally mass imported over 10 million illegal immigrants, including dangerous terrorists like you're seeing on your screen right now. President Trump ran on the fact that he's going to get these terrorists the hell out of our country, and he's delivering on his promise.
Okay, so Veronica, I just go back to this. You say, what is due process on and on? As far as we've understood, and I haven't heard an argument contrary to it, that all of the people that have been deported are eligible to be deported. They have come here illegally. Most of them have committed criminal acts. And I sort of wonder, because I heard this argument last week, there was a Brown doctor. We were told that she was the reincarnation of Florence Nightingale. She performed kidney transplants. How could ICE possibly deport her? And then we find out that she went to Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah's funeral. And when she got back to the United States, they said, I'm sorry, if you're here on a visa and you go to the funeral of a terrorist leader, you don't get to come back. At some point, aren't Democrats becoming like the boy who cried wolf on, oh, my God, we're deporting honest people trying to make a living?
No, and I think that's a wrong comparison, apples to oranges. In this case, where the aircraft was removing non-citizens to El Salvador, we don't really know who was on that plane. What I'm hearing from colleagues here is that some of the people did have removal orders, but they weren't able to effectuate those removal orders to Venezuela. They were dual citizens of other countries.
I'm sorry. You're complaining that there are people who were on a plane that had committed crimes, that had removal orders. You're complaining that they were deported to the wrong country, and you think that's a winning argument with Americans?
No, that's not what I said. I said that some people on that plane did not have criminal records. They were not suspected gang members. They had removal orders. And so there's a process for that. And if we're going to tout that we're a nation of laws, these non-citizens are breaking the laws, we need to also be bound by the Constitution and the immigration laws that we have. So immigration laws on the best of days is a very harsh legislation, right? It's a very harsh set of laws because non-citizens already start with guilt.
No,
right?
they
The only
they already start that they're guests in this country if they are here legally, and if they're here illegally, then they're here illegally. Mike, I'm going to give you the final word on this. I understand the position that the president and Republicans are putting Democrats in, which is, and look, I have a lot of admiration for people who say it doesn't matter what the PR is, we are going to stand for what we think is right, or the rule of law, however you want to call it. But am I right to understand sort of the administration kind of doesn't care what they're doing or the legality of it, so long as the talking point sounds good and puts Democrats in a bad position?
I think that Article 2 of the Constitution is very clear. The president has very broad power to get illegal immigrants out of our country. That was recently affirmed, his power in Trump versus Hawaii in 2018 with the Muslim travel ban, as it was called. If you're an illegal immigrant, you don't have the same constitutional rights as American citizens as these terrorists just learned when they got sent to El Salvador.
All right, Veronica, Mike, thank you both very much. Got to get to some breaking news now.